Got milk. It does a body good. Sometimes. Hi everyone, it's Coach Gabe. I want to take a moment and do a bit of education on a complex, confusing topic for most: milk. I recall watching a documentary a few years back where a gentleman was so passionate and advocating for the removal of milk as if it was the most health-harming food that one could allow to enter into your body. Over the years, I've been able to take time to really dive deeper and peel back the layers as if an onion, where we need to piece different areas together of health science education to really gain a full picture and understanding that can often be neglected or left out on if a food should be something that's a part of our daily menu. So milk, it's one of those where we go back to animal agriculture with farming. And when we understand that the entire system of how farming is done in America, not recently, but long ago, has been altered and changed. Similar to how certain foods are altered from the way they naturally used to be grown many years ago. So that's an important key piece of this puzzle when it comes to looking at dairy-free diets and that dietary pattern. And so what I wanted to say is that only 1% of the American population, according to the data, ever stick to, for the long haul, vegan and vegetarian dietary patterns. So I see this as a very common trend in the 20-year-olds and the younger people that I coach and work with in my one-on-one coaching. And so, but knowing that this never sticks for the long haul for even a small percentage of a massive population, that also is important to notice. And so the reality is that most of us are missing out on, not only do you get vitamins A, D, and an important fat burner and muscle builder, CLA, but vitamin K2 is something that is generally found in your grass-fed dairy foods. So since the majority of the dairy that is found in the food supply, not sourced out from grass-fed farms, most people are just missing out on this key nutrient for healthy bones and joints. So when we understand that piece, and then the agricultural farming system, big picture, and then that vegan vegetarian diets only represent 1% of an entire national population on a consistent daily basis, that even many of those who are advocating for vegan and vegetarianism, they likely aren't sticking with it either on a daily basis. So complete entire removal of an entire food group, not something that I would ever advocate for or personally do myself, and it doesn't make a whole lot of sense when it comes to taking food and bringing it to nutrition science for human health as something that we're actually going to do and advise for a large group of people. So having said that, I feel it's important to know that when we take a look back at other industries like bodybuilding, for example, the sport fitness world to this day still advocates for after exercise drinks of low fat and skim milk. And so this is where the natural fats have been removed. So when we take a food and we completely alter it, then we're not going to receive the benefits that originally were gained from generations prior to us, before the system of agriculture changed. So at times I've noticed over the years where even bright, scholarly, educational people that I've done rigorous coursework side by side with, they're seriously advocating for this. And if you or me, we just take a look at all these dairy-free diets in the food supply and in the world of health, we may just flat out consider that this is the way to go. This is just what I must do for good health, especially when I have a chronic disease condition. So if we just take people's word for it, who haven't looked at every angle or every piece of the pie of dairy, then we may be a bit confused. So that's why I want to take a moment to clear some confusion a bit. And, I specialize in turning complex health concepts into easily understood ideas. So when we take all this into consideration, the system of animal agriculture that changed long ago, and that, let's say, 90% or more of a national population has never even experienced, not even once, the super benefits for health of dairy, of milk, and then you add that only 1% of the population ever sticks long-term, daily, to vegan vegetarian eating, and then you add missing out on key nutrients that's essential for healthy bones and joints, with all our joint pain in this country, and osteoporosis being the number one represented in America worldwide, higher osteoporosis rates than any other nation around the world. And then you add your personal body experience, as I still to this day consume milk on a morning basis, in addition to other dairy foods that are in line with what's been advocated for years, 3 servings of dairy foods daily. When you put these pieces together and you have real experience with it in your own body, it makes a bit more sense, and you can see a more full picture than if I were to just read somebody's blog, or if I were to just take some doctor's advice, wondering the whole time, are they giving me the answer that has just been said time and again, or in a research journal? And where did that come from? Why did they say that? So it's very important to have holistic-minded, who have done rigorous evidence-based education, plus functional medicine that looks at the clinical aspect of health a bit differently, to have people who you can really rely on and trust, that they're going to tell you the truth and not just what so-and-so said or wrote on the World Wide Web. So, milk, it does a body good, sometimes. So if you have a loved one who would like to benefit from my habit-based coaching approach, building health model, and functional medicine focus as a functional medicine nutritionist and health coach, and learn how to fit behaviors seamlessly into the very fabric of their daily life, while being able to enjoy foods that, mind you, when you look at the culinary food world, we can't get around removing dairy out of desserts. If we look naturally back in human history, and when we watch our favorite Food Network and other shows like Chopped and the Kids Baking Championship, which I love, that we're going to see that dairy is very common in most baked desserts. And it just adds that fullness of flavor and makes them deliciously nutritious. So the idea that dairy is nutritious has been lost on a young generation, I believe. And so it's time that us educators and nutritionists and clinical professionals, we do a bit of education out in the communities. So if you have a question, please leave me a message below this video link, and if you give me a time later on in your week that we can work around both our crazy schedules, I'd be happy to set a time to not let anything get in the way of helping you take your health to a whole new level, because it's that important. So, milk. If you'd like someone to show you and walk you through your local grocers and show you exactly where you can purchase milk in a better way, in addition to other dairy foods that were meant to be for our good, not for our harm, then I have an expertise in food marketing and 15 years experience in mapping out grocery runs, and so I'd be happy to do that for you, to help you not get tripped up, where I see folks time and again, even your fitness enthusiasts and your athletes, get tripped up at their local grocery store. Speaking of which, later on in this week, I'm going to be whipping up some homemade ice cream. Ice cream's one of those that we like to go get late at night, right? So that's one where there's a special ingredient or food that takes it up a notch, if you will, and makes it deliciously nutritious and uses very few ingredients. It's pretty simple. So take care. Have a blessed day. Got milk. It does the body good. Sometimes.